personal trainer and nutritionist, and today I have an advanced dynamic stretching routine. So, before we begin, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like to help contribute, you can go to my channel page. In the About, there's a link for donations. I also have an inspirational phrase to share with you before we begin. It says, "There are many tasks in life that are unavoidable. Whether you do them cheerfully or grudgingly is up to you." And I like this because it took me into my adulthood to learn this, but I oftentimes have to tell my son this because sometimes he doesn't want to go to school or he doesn't feel like waking up in the morning. He wants to sleep in and he'll be grouchy and I try to tell him that he has to do it anyway, so he can either choose to be happy during it or he can do it grumpily, and usually he changes his tone. And so with that being said, no, I was going to say more, but we'll just leave it at that. Now I can begin my workout. The first thing that we have is a standing lunge with an arm fling and a tricep lean. So it sounds like a lot. So what you'll be doing is you're going to take a big step to the side, and you're going to place your hand on the inside of your leg, and you're going to open up your hip just a little. Then you're going to take this top hand here and fling it back, kind of like a tee-up, and then as you transition to the other leg, you're going to bring your hand behind your head, arm, tricep lean, then other side. So dynamically, it looks like this, and we're going to alternate sides for 10. Then we're on to our next stretch, which is on the ground. So what we'll be doing is a half forward of the fish, and then you're going to bring your leg behind your shoulder or head. So the half forward of the fish, so you cross your legs and twist. So from this way, twist. It's going to stretch the lower back and the hip, and then after a tiny little moment, you're going to take this leg and put it behind your shoulder or behind your head. And it's going to stretch the hamstring. So dynamically, twist, behind shoulder. And we're going to do that 5 times on each side. To our next stretch, which is going to be a hip cradle and a recline hurdler. So this is going to stretch the hip and the quad. So the hip cradle is almost like what we did So you bring your leg up and you hug it like a baby, and then from here you're going to tuck it in, and leg flex is going to stretch the quad and hip flexor. So we're going to do that 5 times on each side. To our next stretch, which is a folded tree and then a heel stretch. So this is going to stretch the hamstring, the inner thigh, and it's going to maybe stretch your hip depending on how flexible you are. So sometimes we stretch certain muscles, but if you're very flexible, you might not feel it as much. So what you'll be doing is your tree. You're going to fall down, and then you're going to come up. This requires balance, by the way. And you're going to take your foot and extend up. And we're going to do that 3 times on each side. We're on to our next exercise. So what we'll be doing is a standing hip cradle to a side hand to foot. This is for the inner thigh and the hip. So you're going to bring your leg up into a hip cradle, and then a hand to foot out to side, stretching the inner thigh. So we're going to do that 5 times on each side. Again, this requires balance. next exercise, which is on the ground. So what you'll be doing is you're going to get into this gate sort of pose. Fold down, stretch your hamstring, come across. And this is going to intensify the stretch along your side and back, and you might feel a stretch in your IT band or alongside this thigh here. And then you're going to come into a quadrant position and give a quad stretch. And we're going to do that 4 times on each side. Exercise, which is going to be a quad stretch and a floor touch. So you're going to do a standing quad stretch and then reach for the floor. We're going to alternate sides for 8. To our next stretch, which we'll be doing a seated fold and a hand pull. So sit down, fold, come up, hand pull. All right, to alternate sides for 10. Exercise, which is a split, and we're making it bounded or revolved, and this is going to stretch the lats and along the side of the body. So you into your split, and then bounded and revolved. Then after a brief pause, switch. concludes our advanced dynamic stretching routine. I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out more of my other videos on YouTube under Wellness by Elizabeth, and like, subscribe, and share.